What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. That's the return of Adam Cole as he returns to the ring for the first time in months to take on Daniel Garcia. But that's not all, as Kenny Omega battles Jeff Cobb in a much anticipated event. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Dynamite, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 39, Cody and Rollins fight, the WrestleMania lineup has been confirmed for each night, John Cena as a playable golfer, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts and Wrestlelamia Hindi. As always, we won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the goodies. Number 1, Bryan Danielson heel turn. Bryan Danielson turned heel last night, swerving the fans by apparently rescuing Kenny Omega from a post-match beatdown by the Blackpool Combat Club, only to lay the cleaner out. The heel turn couldn't have come at a better time, as the Blackpool Combat Club have been healing it up, and now AEW can book them without any ambiguity about whether they're heroes or villains. AEW can boast that it blurs the lines between baby faces and heels, but AEW needs a top heel faction that's all business, as opposed to the often comedic Jericho Appreciation Society. Number 2, what is Don Callis up to? And what wicked game is Don Callis up to? Callis' efforts to apologize to Adam Page for making Omega think Page had attacked Callis were convincing enough that fans could believe Omega fell for Callis' craftiness, but also obvious to let fans know something more is going on inside Don's mind. AEW's use of subtle storytelling, as opposed to sledgehammer storytelling fans have often had to sit through, doesn't insult the fans' intelligence and creates interest in watching the storylines play out. Number 3, acclaimed JAS vignettes, goofy but fun. Last night's vignettes, where the Jericho Appreciation Society's Daddy Magic, Cool Hand, and Jake Hager took the Acclaimed for a night on the town in order to woo them into joining the JAS, were goofy but fun. While neither group are complete comedy characters, they excel at comedy bits, and last night's segment was amusing, as the Acclaimed clearly had fun, but it was equally obvious Daddy Magic and Cool Hand did not. But now fans will have to wait and see how Jericho reacts when the Acclaimed turned down his offer to join the club. Number 4, solid wrestling as always. Dynamite featured solid wrestling as always, with some engaging matches such as Hardy vs Jungle Boy, and imagine if Matt was in his prime, Jeff Cobb vs Kenny Omega, and even less competitive matches such as the Blade vs Orange Cassidy or the 6-man tag involving Blackpool Combat Club. Number 5, good build for the Guns vs FTR. The Guns promo, where they praised FTR but also promised to retire them, shows that Austin and Colton aren't wasting their opportunity at the top. But not everyone feels the Guns deserve the tag titles or that they're ready, but both wrestlers deserve credit for making the most of things. It doesn't hurt that there's the very real question of whether FTR is staying in AEW or whether they'll be forced to leave by losing the match and likely headed to WWE. And the Book of Hobbs gimmick is catchy. Powerhouse Hobbs has quickly become a compelling character, not only because he's a convincing bad man, but because he's constantly improving on the mic. His Book of Hobbs promos are catchy and help him separate him from the majority of AEW's muscle men. That was a good. What about the bad? Is number 1, the Outcasts aren't cutting it. Saraya, Tony Storm and Ruby Soho continue to get plenty of exposure on Dynamite, but so far they have yet to produce any compelling television or give fans any reason to want to see them get their comeuppance. The Outcasts should be lighting a fire in the women's division with their pseudo-invasion angle, but there's something missing. Perhaps it's the lack of real competition other than Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker, who suddenly seem to be bland babyfaces. Number 2, too many AEW dark guys wrestling. AEW has too many top stars to fit on Dynamite, so why is Tony Khan bringing in so many curtain jerkers on his flagship show? And we mean no disrespect to workers such as The Blade, Dalton Castle and The Boys, but they don't belong on Dynamite, especially during WrestleMania week when AEW might catch fresh eyeballs hungry for any wrestling. Number 3, Adam Cole's return, less than exciting. As good as it was to see Adam Cole's return, his match against Daniel Garcia wasn't a show-stealing performance. A less than dominant win is no way to bring back a wrestler, and we winced when Garcia hit a piledriver on the concussion-prone performer. And what is going on with Matt Hardy? Matt Hardy isn't a main eventer, but just what is he doing in AEW right now? His character has changed so many times in the last 3 years that we aren't even sure whether he's a heel or a babyface, let alone what story he's supposed to be in. While we can always enjoy Matt's work, things are bad when AEW isn't capitalizing on his creative genius. Now, there's nothing downright ugly, but AEW missed an opportunity to load up its flagship show during WrestleMania week, when many people are enthused about more than just the WWE and searching for any wrestling product. Unfortunately, last night's tepid show gave little reason for fans to get excited about watching AEW next week. What would you guys think of Dynamite this week? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at Vince McMahon returning at Wrestlemania. At top of today's news is a report that Vince McMahon is expected at Wrestlemania this weekend. According to PW Insider, the WWE chairman is expected to be at the event. PW Insider Elite reports multiple sources have told him that Mr. McMahon will be there, although it's unknown if he'll appear on camera. And we commented on this possibility in our recent WrestleMania Rumors video, and as we noted, McMahon is going to do whatever he wants regardless of how it looks for a scandal-ridden executive to show up at his company's top show. Based on past reactions, McMahon would likely get a thunderous ovation from the fans. Wrestling News brought up an interesting point about a McMahon appearance. If he does appear, then this could be his last Mania appearance as the owner of the company. McMahon's presence at Mania may also be further proof of the rumor he's going to get involved in creative. Of course, McMahon may just want to be present at the WWE's biggest show of the year, but whatever the case, this will only add to the excitement as fans tune in to this year's WrestleMania. Do you think McMahon will be on camera and show up in front of thousands of fans? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a Cinnamon Toast Crunch match coming to WrestleMania? Get ready for Cinnamon Toast Crunch at Mania. This is just part of WWE's many advertising partnerships at this year's show of shows, as the WWE brings in a record amount of sponsorship dollars. According to the WWE Senior Vice President and Head of Global Sales and Partnerships, the WWE is bringing in $20 million this year in sponsorship revenue. This is twice the amount they brought in for last year's show. However, is WWE taking things a little too far? Fans who cringed at the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match have cause for concern. While there were rumors that they would hold a Cinnamon Toast Crunch themed match, that doesn't appear to be the plan. Nonetheless, what the WWE and Cinnamon Toast Crunch have planned isn't much better. The WWE recently partnered with the cereal maker for its limited edition Cinnamoji Toast Crunch Lucha themed boxes, one which features Rey Mysterio. Here's an excerpt from the press release about the partnership, news that's likely to cause fans to shudder. To celebrate the Cinnamoji Toast Crunch cereal, Cinnamon Toast Crunch and WWE are teaming up to bring Cinnamojis to fans live during WrestleMania 39, hosted at the SoFi Stadium in LA April 1st to 2nd. Tune in to Peacock to catch the spirited Cinnamojis perform live at WrestleMania 39 alongside WWE superstars. Oh god. When it comes to sponsorship deals like this, the WWE is striking while the iron is hot. With wrestling harder than it's been in decades, advertisers are eager to partner with WWE. While we don't know how much the WWE is being paid for Cinnamoji's appearance, it's believed that the company landed a cool $1 million for the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. If Bray Wyatt comes out as one of those Cinnamojis, I'm done. Next up, the lineup for both nights of WrestleMania 39 have been confirmed. Both nights now have been confirmed by WWE. On night 1, John Cena will take on Austin Theory, Charlotte Flair will take on Rhea Ripley, the Usos vs Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens will take place, Becky Lynch, Lita and Trish Stratus take on Damage Control, Seth freaking Rollins takes on Logan Paul, Dom vs Ray, and the men's Fatal 4-Way Tag match will take place all on night 1. On night 2, it will be Roman Reigns, of course, versus the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, Bianca Belair vs Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship, the Intercontinental Championship Triple Threat match, Edge vs Finn Balor in a Hell in a Cell, Brock Lesnar vs Omos, and the Women's Fatal 4-Way Tag Match Showcase. Which night do you think is going to be better? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, John Cena is going to be a PGA Tour golfer. Yeah, when 2K were probably asked this year how many versions of John Cena they won in their game, they just simply said yes. As they recently revealed that PGA Tour 2K23 will feature a playable version of John Cena as a golfer. Does this seem too random? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Britt Baker blasts Thunder Rosa again. A former AEW Women's World Champion Dr. Britt Baker hasn't changed her opinion about former AEW Women's Champion Thunder Rosa. During an interview with Slam Wrestling, she was asked whether she feels the same way when she questioned how Rosa gave up the championship due to an injury, but continued making personal appearances. Baker responded, "I stand by everything I said because I still have the same questions. You're traveling all over the place for other projects, but you're not coming to work where you're the champion? I have that question. I want to know why, and I'm just asking that question because I'm very passionate and protective of AEW. Anyone can call me a bully, but I stand by that, and that question still hasn't been answered to this day." Baker referenced how her boyfriend Adam Cole would have loved to have returned to work, but he was not medically cleared to travel due to his concussion. Next up, Cody Rhodes talks nearly fighting Seth Rollins backstage. Wrestling is a competitive business, and while the matches are work, the quest to be number one in the company can lead to real-life animosity backstage, including physicality. Just ask Cody Rhodes, who recently appeared on the Dan Le Batard show and discussed the pressures of competition. I almost would say I like less people than I dislike, and in the terms of backstage setting, the competition that exists in wrestling, you can see that suspension of disbelief on screen, but backstage is very real in the terms of competition. Who's going to be on top? For example, who's going to headline Wrestlemania? So this year's being Roman Reigns and myself, it doesn't garner a lot of friends. The American Nightmare talked about his animus towards Seth Rollins behind the scenes. I think Seth Rollins is the closest I've ever had to backstage that turned into a fistfight in front of all of our peers in upper management. It didn't happen. Him and I absolutely can't stand one another. I'd probably try and rip his eyes out and have the situation like DDP and Scott Steiner here. Cody was referring to the legendary backstage brawl in WCW where Scott Steiner allegedly tried to take out one of DDP's eyes. Next up, Callis hurt on Dynamite. Wrestlers know how to blur the line between fiction and reality, but as fans know, sometimes things can go wrong. According to PW Insider, Kenny Omega's manager accidentally struck his head while falling down. He was busted open and treated by AEW medical officials. It's believed that he wasn't seriously hurt, but we do hope he makes a full recovery. And finally, Pat McAfee at Mania. Last but not least, while it appears Mr. McMahon will be at Mania, what about the popular sports personality Pat McAfee? He was last seen at the Rumble, and fans have asked if he's actually returning to provide color commentary at the show of shows. Recently, WWE CEO Nick Khan was asked about Pat appearing at Mania, and unfortunately he said, "We have no plans to have him there this weekend." But there you have it folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.